Welcome back to the show. All right, let's just jump right into it.
Okay. Now, what you want to do first, you want to make sure you have a nice flat surface. You don't have to take a lot off the bottom of the watermelon, just enough so you create a nice flat surface. And I'm going to put this on a Lazy Susan cutting board. The key is the way I do this is I create my canvas, so to speak. So I'm going to skin the watermelon. And this takes just a few minutes to do, so we might want to come back after I get it, but you can see this is the technique that you use to skin it.
So we're just taking a very, very minuscule...
Taking a thin layer off the top. You don't want to go too deep on it. And the reason you don't want to is you want to have as much of the watermelon when you actually go to carve it so it's solid enough.
Right.
You know, it's not too... And what I did is I put a border around it so that when I cut down to where
you scored it.
Right, where I scored it. Now, what we're going to do here, first of all, you're basically going to cut a small ring out of the center. This is the center of the flower. You work from this inside out. This is a neat little tool. So just you know, for cookies and that type of thing.
Right, okay.
You know. Now I'm going to trim the inside of this out, like so. And then I take it and I'm cutting the outside out. This is a Thai knife that I'm using. It's actually from Thailand. Very, very sharp, fine blade.
You can tell.
Now, when I'm coming in the center here, I'm going to start cutting the petals. Like that. Come around this way.
All right, so if I could try to explain it. You're making your outside cut.
Right.
And then you're coming in at a kind of a bias, and you're cutting the relief out, and you're leaving
to create the petal.
The petals.
I'm actually cutting the petal, and then I'm cutting that out in a bias, as you mentioned, so that you accent the petal. You bring the petal out.
Right.
Inside here. And inside here. Okay, so there's your center. Now, you're going to come to the middle of the petal, and we're going to cut this out.
Again, you're on the bias.
Right. And then I'm going to border that. And I'm going to create another petal. Just like that. Bring that out. Then I'm going to overlap that a little bit. Bring that out. And create another petal. In this process, that's how simple it is.
Simple, but not, I mean, not easy at all.
Well,
I mean, I can see how it'd be easy to get confused on what you're doing. At least it would be for me.
Well, you follow the same procedure all the way around, and the neat part is after you create a flower in the center, that's where you can really get creative with some different accents, such as, you know, some leaves or some additional style petals or whatever.
So you cut out a little piece to give you some room.
Right.
And then you make the inside of the petal.
Right.
And then you come back and cut out the outside of the petal.
Exactly.
And then you're going to come by again and you're going to cut the piece out to give yourself some room.
Right.
And do the inside again and then the outside. And you're going to do that all the way around. So all you have to do really is keep track in your brain of what you're doing. It's kind of like knitting, if you will.
Yep.
You like the knit one purl too. So you got to create some space, and then you make a petal, and then just create some space and make a petal.
So that's the center of your flower. Now, to really bring this out a little bit, you need more than just one row, so you go all the way around again. And you can go around, actually, as many times as you want. You could have the whole thing, one big rose. And you could just continue to go all the way down. It'd be gorgeous.
Well, it would. Now, it takes a minute to conceptualize that. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That would be very, very cool.
But I'm going to do something a little different after I get this. I'm going to show you a couple different techniques on some different types of, well, you can do leaves, you can do, again, different types of flowers. This is like kind of a leaf texture, that's a flower. It's really up to you. It's up to your creativity. There is no exact science to this, except for this technique here, is to have the proper tool. I'm doing this pretty quickly, but you can see how beautiful this yellow is as a flower. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love yellow roses anyway, but this is beautiful.
So now let's talk a little bit about the yellow watermelon, because apparently they're a lot harder to come by than even we insinuated at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
They have a very limited growing season.
Right.
And then obviously they have a limited shelf life, because you don't really see. This is the first yellow watermelon I've ever seen.
Right.
I believe.
And you know, you can find them at some of your supermarkets. I happen to find this at a local farm down in Lewis, Delaware. That's how I found this. So okay, so now I could go further with this. See, I'm pulling this out, and if you get a little stuck, just cut it a little bit more, and out like that. Okay?
Beautiful.
Now let's do one more. Oh, look how beautiful that yellow comes out. And it accents with the outer skin too, to really make a beautiful contrast. Just a beautiful contrast.
Now people might be saying to us, why are we showing carving of the fruit? But this is why. Because could you imagine putting this or this or this as a centerpiece on your dinner table?
Yep.
Or more specifically at a catered event done
Right.
by the Greenery Catering here at the Rockwood Center.
Well, that's one thing that the Greenery is known for, is we never just put food out. We pyramided, we lay it out on the table so it's beautiful, we accent it with beautiful garnishes, we make it special.
That's right.
And that's the key.
Well, you know, even for us, you know, so I understand when I say even for us, I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but I'm saying you do our Christmas party every year, and every year you still outdo yourself. It's not like you've got tired and we've become like blasé about the party. You guys still come and bring us things like this. You still, and the butler service, the whole thing. It's just top notch the whole way.
Well, we care about every single client, I can tell you that.
Even us. We're going to take a quick break,
okay,
and then come back and explain to them some more, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
We'll be right back.